to number 5, approval of meeting minutes from February 13th, 2014 and April 10th. Is there anybody that, other than Mr. Miller, that needs to abstain from those? Is everybody present? Both? Okay, so we'll take them separately. Is there a motion for February 13th?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second. Any discussion? Yeah.
Even though I wasn't here for part of the meeting, I did give a change to Kathy this morning.
Do you want to read it? Do you want us to read it in, Dan, or? Please.
The change was to move when Dan had stepped out of the meeting, needed to go below the, one second. So it needed to go below the discussion for number 8. So we moved Chief's, that he recused himself and left the meeting, and we moved it below number 8.
Anything further? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then for April 10th. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to do it.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 6, discussion and possible action, the site plan of operation for Paul Konieczny, thank you, I apologize. Location is West 241, South 4110, and West 241, South 4130 Pine Hollow Court. Mr. Barczyk?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, the petitioner is looking to reuse the former All Pro Motorsports building. He owns the building, but his tenant has relocated. As part of his dealership license with the state, it not only allows for the motorcycles, but also allows for pre-owned sales of vehicles as well. So that's what the petitioner is looking to do, is he himself is looking to open up a pre-owned late model auto dealership on the property. He also owns the property directly to the north, which is right now it's a vacant lot. And depending on the success of the dealership, he may look to expand more of a surface parking lot to that property for the display of vehicles. Currently, his plans are to just use the former All Pro Motorsports building and the parking lot on that lot to start off with. It's my understanding that there's limited or no interior renovations that he's doing to the building, and as far as the exterior, he's just looking to do some exterior lighting for display of the vehicles. Property is zoned limited industrial district, which does allow as a permitted use subject to a site plan of operation, the automobile sales or automobile repair, etc. In the planner appointment that I had with the petitioner, at this time he has no desire to do any automotive repair or work on the site. There is actually a gentleman, I think just down the street, that does that, and if any of his cars needed any work, he would work out some kind of a partnership with him to do the work. So there's going to be no mechanics on site, any dent repair or anything that he has proposed. There is an adjacent wetland that's just to the east or west of 164, east of the building. So if he did expand onto that lot to the north, he would have to take that into consideration and work with the DNR as far as setbacks and what he can and can't do on that property. As part of the application, he did provide us with the aerial where he identified the location of the exterior lighting that he would like to do, but we did not receive any type of a photometric plan. We didn't have really any preliminary discussions as far as new signage. There wasn't a sign permit application that was part of this. And then in talking with Engineer Janelli, we thought maybe at this point it was a little too soon, not knowing if he's actually going to expand to the lot to the north, with regard to requesting the engineering drawings, grading plans for any type of a surface lot. So that wasn't part of the application, but again, I think that it's maybe a little too premature in the process. I think he wants to just start in the former building in the front side to see how it goes. So with that, I did put two recommendations together. The first is if the town plan commission so desired to see all of the additional items, the photometric plan, sign application, and the construction drawings, that tonight you could table it for a future meeting until the applicant could provide those. Or the second recommendation that I put together was approval subject to conditions, and two of the conditions would be that he would provide a photometric plan that I could review per the ordinance and either approve or not approve. And then two is before he did any new signage, he would still have to submit the sign permit application and submit that to the board for review and approval. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back over to the Plan Commission for discussion.
Thank you. A couple of quick questions. How many vehicles do you plan on storing outside on the property?
I would estimate probably between 15 to 30 initially.
And what about things like disabled or damaged vehicles?
Not looking to do that kind of vehicles. It's gonna be late model stuff that possibly has a manufacturer warranty left on it. I'm a wholesaler now. I do wholesaling to car dealers. I maintained a wholesaler license after I sold the motorcycle shop, so I'm kind of dealing with that, so I've got my feet wet, knowing what I'm doing. And so played with that, and it's always been a dream of mine to do a car dealership. I would rather have had a car dealership than a motorcycle dealership originally, but now's possibly the time to do it. As far as signage on the building, I would just, change the letters on the building to something else. I took those down yesterday, all pro motorsports letters. So that signage would just be changed to a different name. And then as far as the lighting goes, I'm just looking to light up that one corner of the building and directly in front, so I don't think it's gonna be a big problem. The parking lot one day, if it goes well, if that was paved, yeah, you probably have to do a full study on that, I don't think that there's much disturbance with lighting, and there's no residential there anyway, so. Maybe.
The area there on lot one, that's currently most of that is all paved, correct? The driveway.
Lot
and
one
then-
is with the building.
Lot two, sorry.
Lot two, yeah, it's pretty much, it's paved up to the wetland line where I can pave it. And I know where the wetland line is and where the pavement could go on the accessory lot. It's not gonna be a big lot. Originally, I was gonna buy the lot on the corner, but I ended up buying the lot next to it because I could put a bigger building and more parking lot, but I know the restrictions on that lot. It's kind of a tough lot to even think about selling, because I don't know who would build on it. Maybe I shouldn't have bought it. But it's mine now, I should do something with it.
Would your recommendation, Planner Ray Barczyk, even if we're putting up just the 3 posts on lot 2, to do a photometric study prior to those going in?
At a minimum, I would like to see the specifications on the light to make sure that it's a down light, and that, we're not being a nuisance to the surrounding property owners. I understand that they're industrial as well, but we'll also want to take into consideration any splash lighting on Highway 164, so that we're not causing any vehicular problems. So at a minimum, I would like to at least see the specifications of the lighting so that I can compare it for our ordinance.
Okay.
Initially, the lighting probably won't even go up for a while. I would run it just like it is now, without lighting for a while. until we get things going. And as far as repairs go, yeah, we're not looking to become a repair shop, but there's gonna be minor repairs to set up cars for sale if we do this. You know, tire changes, weather changes, things like that, all in-house, off-site, in the back building.
Mr. Rabarchik, you've looked at that, it's not allowed except for as a conditional use. Automotive subservice is a conditional use.
In the industrial?
I go closer, it's shown in B3, and this goes back to the B3. I was checking to make sure it was legal just to have, it says any use is permitted in the general business district except for residential, and then there's a long list, is it listed here? Automotive body repairs, automotive upholstery.
We already
I thought
have,
maybe
we already
that's
have a
why-
car repair shop, and we have an auto body shop right next door too. I mean, I don't see how it could be a problem.
Well, I wondered if that's why you had said that, well, yeah, in the A1, I'm sorry, the I-1 limited industrial district, if you look at 2 conditional uses, automobile service. Conditional use.
On a retail level?
It says automobile service.
I was looking at, under the limited industrial district permitted uses, 1B, I saw the automotive body repair and automotive upholstery there. That's right. I took the repair as service.
He just has to look into that. I thought that's why you said there wasn't going to be any use, because then you would have been recommending the conditional use. So I assumed that's why.
Well, and in our original planner appointment, you had talked about using the gentleman down the street, that there wasn't gonna be any service.
Yeah, with the state of Wisconsin, have a motor vehicle dealer, you either have to, you know, have a two-bay garage where you can look at something for repair, or you can contract it out. So, you know, that's state law, but, yeah, I can do either or, but realistically, I mean, we need to, you know, have cars in our building, we need to, you know, change a tail light, anything, you know, minor repairs. It's not gonna be engine exchanges, it's not gonna be anything like that, you know, it's gonna be typical, basic work that any cars would need, nothing major. I'm not looking at, you know, having customers come in and line them up for tune-ups. It's not like that. It's service what you sell. You're not making money on service here.
Would you suggest, Planner Barczyk, that perhaps we could move forward with the approval of the permitted use, which is the automobile sales, and then if Mr. Konieczny wants to come back for servicing, that would be a conditional use that you would have to apply for again? Would that be your recommendation?
According to the town attorney, correct, yes.
Well, it's also not in it's not in the plan for tonight. What was presented was no automobile. We can look into it further and research it and find out if automobile service is allowed, but it wasn't in the report for tonight, so I would be concerned about making that amendment anyway tonight.
I really think it's gotta be, you're talking about a retail sale of auto service. We're not selling auto service here.
We understand your position, we just have to research.
Okay.
You know, since we changed from what he said. The other question I have, as long as I interrupted here, I can't tell from the report, and I need to know for the minutes and the motion, are we approving anything on Lot 1, or does he have to come back to use Lot 1? I don't think it's clear, and I don't want that issue to arise later on. I don't care what the answer is, I just gotta make sure we know from the motion what's being approved and not being approved. It's almost like you were giving us notice that at some time in the future, but I don't know whether he's authorized to use it or not at this point. If he is authorized, does he have to pave it, does he have to light it, what does he have to do in order to use it? Or did you contemplate that he would be coming back prior to any use of Lot 1?
Condition number 9 addresses the vacant lot, saying that the petitioner shall provide construction drawings and specifications for review and approval by the town planner and town engineer for the parking lot addition prior to construction.
That's your understanding also?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to get shot down tonight saying you can never do anything on that lot, well, that would tell me. I mean, if there's a possibility that in the future you guys consider it, that's all I'm looking for. You know, not a yes or no, just that it's possible. Because, you know, one day it may happen, and I need to come back and at that point, I guess you can look at what I'm doing so far and go, okay, he's a clean operator. You know, we're gonna do a good show here.
Questions?
How quickly do you want to do this?
I'm not in any big hurry. I'm still doing some cleanup on the building and that, and, you know, this is a plan that I've come up with, and, how soon? It could be a month, it could be 3 months from now.
I'm willing to make a motion that we table this tonight and have him come back with a blank plan for Jamie to review. That gives them time to research the repair portion that I've been talking about. So I'll make a motion that we table that, we bring all those things back to the next meeting. I'll also emphasize that I'm in favor, but we want to do it with lot one as well. So at a future time, I think we can address that, but my motion is to table this for tonight.
Is there a second?
I second that.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I'd ask the planner when he comes back to make it clear that lot one can be used. The question I've had in my mind that you can think about and work with the petitioner on is, can he use it if he doesn't pave it? Can he just start parking cars there? Because this approval would almost sound like he could, because you're authorizing him to use it. It's just if he wants to build anything on it, he's got to bring plans back. And I'm not saying you want to do that or you don't want to do that. You can meet with him in the staffing, but it's just whenever we approve anything, we should know what we're approving. You should know what the rights are that you get through this approval, and I just don't want any confusion. I don't know that anybody cares, but I just want to make that clear in the report when it comes back. What he can do on lot one if he decides not to do any construction on it. Fair enough?
I never considered parking cars on grass, but I guess it's a possibility.
Well, and you may also rent this out, right?
I don't know.
Those people, if you would rent it, they would need to know what they're.
Right, yeah, so, yeah, I guess maybe we could go a little farther with the lighting checked out, and maybe we could go the distance and get approval on both lots for the lighting, and see where we end up with it, and that would be the smart thing to do for me.
And we can do the signage too, and get that all done as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
On to number 7, discussion and possible action on an accessory building. The owner is Jeffrey Steffes. Did I get it right? Mr. Steffes here today?
Steffes.
Steffes, I apologize. I'm 0 for 2. Location is South 53 West 24325 Glendale Road. I know that Planner Rybarczyk and Attorney Macy did a fair amount of research on this, and that it was a interesting way that they got around to an approval, so take it away, Planner Rybarczyk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The petitioner is looking to install an in-ground swimming pool in their backyard, and as part of the project, put up a 13-foot by 16-foot accessory building for the pool pump house. The structure is only 12 feet in height. The property is zoned A1, which is the agricultural district. And in the agricultural district, the maximum height for an accessory structure is 15 feet, so they meet that. They do have 2 other accessory buildings on the property. One's a detached garage at 26 by 44, and then also a 8 by 12 shed. Earlier this month, we did finally get approval from Waukesha County on our new accessory building ordinance, and that's what the petitioner was waiting for. Under the new ordinance, a 3-acre parcel is allowed 1.5% of the gross area for total aggregate square footage of accessory building. So he's allowed 1,960 square feet. With the pool house that he's building and the other 2 accessory structures on the lot, he's at 1,457. So he meets the requirements of the new ordinance. Where we had run into some concern was when we started looking at the lot, it's a 3-acre parcel that's zoned A1. And per the A1 zoning district, you need a minimum of 20 acres and a lot width of 660 feet. So that's why I had originally had this taken off the plan commission, because we were dealing with a non-conforming lot. Also per our A1 district, you're supposed to have a farm residence on the property. In this case, it was a single-family residence. So I was concerned with non-conforming lot, and I was also concerned with the non-conforming use. And even though it was a 13 by 16 accessory building, we were adding to the non-conformity. In speaking with Attorney Macy, we did, however, though, find a provision in our ordinance that was under the general guidelines of lot. And it does talk about that where a lot has less land area or width than the required for the district in which it's located, and was recorded at the time of passage of this ordinance, which was 79. In the petitioner's case, both of the lots were created in 77. That the lot may be used for any purpose permitted in such district, including residential, as long as it's a single family. As long as all the setbacks and the offsets are being met per our ordinance, and the open space requirements are not reduced less than 10,000 square feet. In review, all of the buildings on the property, except for the shed, meet all the setbacks. We meet all of the floor area ratio, the open space requirements, etc. I have spoken with the petitioner on 2 occasions. The 8 by 12 shed is currently on a lot line. It's a garden house. I believe it's in a little bit of disrepair, so that the property owner has 2 choices tonight. One is to move it so that it's in compliance with the offset, or 2 is to actually remove it altogether from the subject property. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that's kind of a summary of the petitioner's request, and I did put a recommendation before the Plan Commission for approval, subject to our standard conditions for accessory building. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Questions?
What is going to be the resolution of the shed?
Shed?
Yeah.
Well, if I can move it, I'll move it. If that's unacceptable, then we'll just tear it down.
I have no problem moving it as long as it meets the setbacks and stuff that are required. I move approval with the removal of the shed to meet the proper setbacks and the other conditions. I will make a motion to approve.
I second that.
Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.